Welcome. Hello. Thank you so much for tapping in, tuning in with I, Enchantress the Babbler, on our evolutionary, revolutionary rise that is happening at this alchemized moment right now, because now is all we ever have, and now spelled backwards is one, and that is the equation that we sum up here when we meet, you and I. I am so thankful for each and every one of you. I am so thankful for all the new subscribers. I am so thankful for all of you helping me to grow my channel. I am excited. In all honesty, I never asked because, I get emotional. I never asked because we always have that insecurity in our being, even no matter how confident we can be, no matter how we are, and especially based off of our own life conditioning and stuff like that, and how the people that we would expect, right? That's why, don't expect, right, to be there for us, have proven us disappointingly time and time again to not be the energies of support that we thought we had or that we were entitled to have, because it is what it is at the end of the day. But to know that ask and ye shall receive kind of development, into our kind of energies, like we have to sometimes be vulnerable, right? We have to be vulnerable, right? In our situations, in ourselves, within ourselves, to really be open to the opportunities and to the expansion that flow, grows and glows through us. So I just want to say, like, I'm so thankful. Like, like you put yourself out there, you say ask, and and crickets, right? Crickets. You hear fucking crickets. But that's because you're looking at the wrong door. And it really it takes that to really, like, whoa, let me adjust this view. I'm here focused on the people that, granted, I wanted to have, or I feel like you should, or but that's the expectation too, right? Don't assume something, because what's the first 3 letters of the word assume? Ass. You make an ass of yourself, right? And so it's coming to terms with the acceptance of, all right, it is what it is at the end of the day, and I get to choose whom I engage and what I engage, because it's mind empowerment, it's mind power. Look at the brain, the labyrinth, in every kind of way, right? Going into your energy of temple, right? Being in your energy, your temple. Never mind what's happening out there. And then choosing the frequency you want to tap into. Which brings up good points too. But either way, thank you so much. I'm not sure which one this is going to be, if this is going to be a vlog or just another episode, you know what I mean? But make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, to hit that notification bell, because there are episodes airing in different pockets of time. So whenever you find this message here, may you be in your most appropriate, alchemized, aligned, feeling good. And if you're not feeling good, may these videos help you to feel your greatest and activate you in that kind of sensationalist, right? That hey, kid, you get naked, little girl. You woke up from your nap naked. Welcome. You want to say hi? Oh, I don't want to leave that there, because then that might actually fall. Come here, little girl. There's a little girl right here. She's naked. She was dressed, right? My grandma always says, oh my goodness. So hi, grandma. My grandma watches my YouTube. She thinks it's a program. She's old school generation. She's like, every time your program comes on, Jennifer. So you see, that goes to show, the people. So you might be looking at, like, the people, like, what I get told too? I get told your videos are too long. It's just too much. And I used to take offense to that. I'm so glad to be in the evolution of not taking offense to that, realizing that people will be in the evolution that they are on. And somebody that's not on your vibration, energy, frequency just can't be hanging, right? They'll be like, I got ADHD. I can't pay attention for too long. I got this and this and this and that. That's because you're not in the disciplinary or you're just not in that vibration. It's not an insult or anything like that. But like, so that's the thing. We might get upset or we might feel bad and things like that when people don't engage us in the way that we would like them to and stuff like that. So maybe this is a message for some of you, that you might be getting your feelings but hurt, right? Because the people that you feel that should be responding to you in ways that show their love, right? You're just missing the element of love language that they do speak, you know, especially if it's not toxic in any kind of way, because I don't condone or encourage toxicity. It's like people being in the toxic cells cannot possibly be healthy, you know what I mean? So this is just healthy environments too. Like, you know, some people could just be you know, about their own stuff and different things and love and support you in different kind of ways. And so you can't expect people to show you the same leveling of love language that you show them, you know what I mean? So either way, this is just supposed to be an introduction before I get started and stuff like that. So I just want to say thank you so much for all the love and support for all of you whom do show your support. I don't know many of you, and so I'm just so thankful that you would see the value of mana that comes from tapping in, turning on, tuning in with a living muse. People always honor the muse when they're gone. You know how many living muses there are walking this earth? Honor them while they're here. And it's not, we honor each other, you know what I'm saying? In that kind of dynamic quantum way. Like, oh, they were such a beautiful person. If only you weren't on your fuck shit vibes. If only you were in your own alchemy of the line. It's just like I wrote a quote. A lot of stuff happens, like, you know, in passing. Oh, I had it open. It was literally open and I closed it thinking that wasn't going to be it. And it was it. And then I closed it. Now where the hell did it go? It's not in my good conscience to see something that I like and pass it by without acknowledging the beauty that I find it to be. Right? It's like seeing something that I like aesthetically, even if it's with my own eyes, and enjoying it and not acknowledging my enjoyment for their existence, whether it's an inanimate object, piece of something, artwork, whatever, or a person. And you got so many mofos in this world walking around admiring people, loving their vibes, loving all this kind of stuff, and freaking ignoring it too, like just walking by and like, I didn't see that. That you think you're in, like it's like insult to injury, and the person that could be feeling it and all this kind of stuff because they're aware and all this kind of stuff of what's going on out there, and take that in. Remember, projection, right? Taking that in, like rejection, this projection. And so, like, meanwhile, it's your own insane asylum, right? I don't do anything in it. I don't, like, it's just like I see somebody, a woman, walking down the street and she's dressed down to the nines, and I read her energy also fine. She might be, let's say, you know, I don't like to judge or assess like that. I'll be like, oh, she's so, like, she's not gonna receive it well or anything like that or whatever. Even if she doesn't, oh, I like, you look beautiful. And let's say she doesn't even say thank you. I'm not gonna stop my flow of growth because another person is another type of way. I do myself an injustice that way. So all these people that think that they're shading or they're hiding or they're, you know, whatever the case may be, not acknowledging you because they want to be the guru, they want to be the everything, they're looking at you competitively or whatever the case may be. They do themselves an injustice. And if you could really start turning tides as you see this kind of stuff, and not personalize that we're each one, reach one, teach one. We're each on our different multidimensional space on our journey. Oh shit. I don't even know where we were. But either way, it doesn't. We're gonna get started. So this is gonna be another evolutionary blog. So thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in. So the purpose of the evolutionary blog is for me to share with you my own personal spiritual journey, in hopes that my stories and my shares inspire, motivate, and help you to feel a little less alone in the development of your own personal intuitions, gifts, and, you know, trippy trips down, you know, the rabbit hole of awakenings that can happen and cause you to feel isolated and, you know, different, very different. And so as a mother, I feel like my stories will be here to empower other parents or soon to be parents too, because your children are our future, and your awareness and your evolution is of great benefit to your offspring. Either way, whatever brings you here, it's in full love and compassion that I have for my fellow humans out there on their journey. Although we are the same, we are different. Each one, reach one, teach one. And that's the purpose of these evolutionary blogs. Each one, reach one, teach one. Take with it as you will. As a living muse, may this empower and strengthen you too. So there's a topic that is very sensitive that I have been really guided to start sharing, because massive growth in healing and articulation and understanding has transpired. So for those of you that are new here or don't know, I am a lifetime transcendentalist. I do not know life without being tapped in, turned on, tuned in. I have always been activated. And my whole entire life is a testimony to that activation of initiation, of empowerment and search and quest, and my own spiritual journey with my own evolution of gifts that, whether you believe them or not, I don't give a fuck. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm here to connect with you, if anything. This is not going to be for everybody. I trigger along with heal. Triggers are healing. Your opportunities, if you're ever triggered by anything that I have to say, understand, overstand that that's for your evolutionary betterment. So I make no apologies. Okay. So I was looking down at these, I got my little evolutionary cards. And it's what inspired me to make this an evolutionary vlog. Okay. So the mysterious glow. You have a mysterious glow about you. Yeah. What happens, sweetheart? What happens? Right? So, and it's because your energy, your frequency, vibration is tapped into stations that are activations. Like, it's just period. So, like, anyway, but let me go to what I was going to say before I even go in. It's from E.T. You don't know. All right. At the edge of the forest is the home of Elliot, a 9-year-old boy. And I think about the age of 9, the number of completion at this time, to go to the 10, to move, to start from the new beginning, to start again, right? It's completing a cycle of something. And when he's completing a cycle of something, he meets this alien, right? So wandering outside, he notices a strange unearthly glow coming from the tool shed. He playfully tosses a baseball in, and seconds later, the baseball comes hurling back at him, right? So this is continuing Elliot's search. So we're continuing our search. So everything is an energy, frequency, vibration. And so the older I get, the wiser we become, the younger I feel, right? It's for real, okay? My quotes for real is, the fountain of youth is found inside of you. Not anywhere else, darling, no matter what it looks like. Right? So, in case you didn't know. No. Yeah. So, the fountain of youth is found inside of you. Tapping into energies we don't want to right now. Right? So, anywho. So, when I was young, and maybe some of you will relate to this, now that I understand my levelings of ability to channel different realms of multidimensional existence all at the same time, I've had 40 plus years of my life to attempt to master the noise so it can appear to be, and filter through the realms and different kind of energies, frequencies, vibrations, lessons, experiences in life that will teach you as you go through. Now, I've had many experiences in my life that, although I was tapped in, turned on, tuned in, I've had many life experiences that created, accelerated enhancement of these kind of things. So I come from a very unstable background of abuse and neglect and drama, trauma, name it. And so being tapped in, turned on, tuned in, overly developed in my heightened abilities of sensitivities, of energies, there has always been this aspect to my development that was very conscious of itself. And so I had a relationship with my consciousness. And so for me, it was always like a documentary of certain kind of things. And maybe, me articulating, finding the articulation to say is going to be helpful to you in every kind of way, because it's going to be like, oh, yes, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah, you're not alone, So, so early on in my development, so all I can tell you is that this was before the age of 9 in terms of this dealing with this type of energy, frequency, vibration, that I'm so thankful for having got rid of. Now, if you had asked me how I got rid of it, all of these years up until the last 10 or 15, I wouldn't have been able to tell you how. But within the last, let's say, 20 years, the inner sight has traveled through the labyrinth to discover certain elements of truth. And truth is so, it's I hear not linear, but it's just so vast too. Because where you ricochet one potential of a reality, of a truth, of an energy, of an existence, you also fire circuit a billion others at the same time, which create more active potentials and ricochets of more potentials of truth to come into play. And so truth is infinite in its own expansion too. It's evolutionary too. Right? So what is truth? So that's the same thing as what is fact. So early on, as a young child, I understand what it would have probably got diagnosed as too, had I've shared or been diagnosed and all that kind of stuff. See, a lot of the stuff that I had experienced before the age of 6, I was already coming to certain truths of there are things that exist beyond this realm of existence that I'm well aware of. Like my grandmother used to laugh because as tough as I would be, she would say, as tough as you are, you have me walking ahead of you to go upstairs to your house to make sure there's nothing over there to like scare you. Like we would literally every single like night have my grandmother escort us to our bedrooms and not leave for a while until we got comfortable enough to let her slip away. And then sometimes too, she would think sometimes it would be that leveling of fear that I would tell her she had to stay there until we fell asleep. And so she would slip off, dip off, and mind you, it's not easy for me to go to sleep. I would hear her and I'm like, you're not leaving. She's like, you're okay. Then I was left at night like to play with everything that wanted to come out and play. Talk about not sleeping, right? And so after my sister was born, right? After my sister was born, I'm 6 years older. And I told you, if you watch the other evolutionary vlogs, that I done my own scientific studies with my sister at a young age to see if what she was saying that she was experiencing too with that she wasn't just doing a me too kind of thing. And so I had determined early on and stuff like that she was telling the truth and that I wasn't tripping. So I already had my first door of early on validation that, okay, these adults are tripping. I see what I see. Somebody else sees what I see. Okay, I'm not alone in this thing. So I've shared this on my other, I don't know which videos and stuff I've been recording on here for a while. You have over 2,000 videos to go through, sift through, drift through, eat from, you know? But in one of those, I had discussed early on that when we were kids and we were experiencing a lot of the stuff, I made my sister make a vow, a pact with me, that we were never to share and tell people what we see. Because if they did, that they were gonna come, I had her pinky swear and everything, pinky swear in my grandmother's living room, dining room area, and I was like, pinky swear that you will never, 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 ever tell anybody what it is that we see, because if you do, they will take us and they will do studies on us, and then we'll never be able to. Yeah, okay, that whole kind of thing, right? So I had a sisterly pact, and it felt good. It felt good to know I wasn't crazy. But if you're as highly sensitive and in tune as I, like when we talk about this, it doesn't matter how much validation you can get on, even in early on in life, you still question your fucking sanity. Because there's so many realms of existence that exist that you tap in, tune into, that it's just like too much. That you don't understand all of it. You don't know what it means. And here you are experiencing this, and then you say something to somebody else, and they're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And then you just feel real alone. I study psychology. I'm well aware of what they would have diagnosed me as. And I'm fucking grateful that I didn't get diagnosed as that, because it would have took a whole other route. And now that I'm older, and now that things have filtered, now that I understand better, because I've always sought to understand my own damn position. No matter what was happening externally for me, I'm thankful for that mindset approach. Power meeting power, even when I didn't understand it. Right? As activated beings, we don't understand a lot of things that we're seeing. And so it could cause us to really, really close up. So as within exudes on out, even if you close up. So my fascination with myself too was how I learned to um exist as a human when I see so many other things, especially while driving, especially while walking. I've been freaked out. Freak myself out, like, okay. And going through all of that, right? So someone can say, oh, that's like, a mental disorder, right? Schizophrenia, paranoia, hallucinations, all these kind of stuff that they'll get you away from your inner vibrations, your intuition, your sense and sensibility. Let me mask that for you. No, thank you. Right. So early on, I understood that there were other realms, dimensions of existence where energies resided. Here's why. So if you go back to, I don't know which vlog it was, evolutionary vlog 1 or 2, 3, I don't even know. One of those, I spoke about briefly. I said that I used to get, as a channeler, these everything all at once and stuff like that. And it took my dad one day asking me a question to shift my whole relationship, my personal relationship with how I receive. Because it was that question that he asked that created the awareness in me to see that when he asked me that question, everything that I was screaming to stop stopped, because I was listening. The same way I was open as a channel, listening to everything all at once that sounds like shh, shh, noise. And then if you listen to different pockets of the noise, it's a lot of sound. And then, like, from early on too, besides that, the music, there's a music. It's funny because when I started hearing the music again, I used to hear the music a lot when I was little. And when I started hearing it as an adult, at this time I had a roommate. And what the hell is the angle I'm sitting in? I had a roommate and my daughter, right? And my daughter was in junior high school. I don't know, right? So this is years ago because my daughter's 22. She's gonna be 22. And when I started hearing it again, there was a lot of amplification of a lot of spiritual activity and spiritual ascension and journeying that I was personally going through at this time. And I was also in school and I was doing a lot of different kind of things. And I was going through a lot of different transformations, evolutions, and all this kind of stuff. So when one night I'm laying down or whatever, and I start hearing the sound. And so instead of just letting the sound here, I'm like, listen to the sound because it's unrecognizable music. And so I'm like, what genre is this? Like, it's beat. It's like a folksy, like I felt like, so I'm like, is it a fairy realm? A portal? And I'm like looking or whatever. And I'm like, maybe there's like a portal here. Like I'm gonna go into Narnia. Let me tell you how serious this was. I got my roommate out of the room. I got my daughter, and I'm like, you don't hear that? And I'm like going everywhere that I think I hear the music. Nobody hears the music. And so either way, nobody hears the music. Right. So talking about? So, all right. So when I was young, the reason why, so this is also, so after the development too. So when I was young, I'm trying to think now. I can't tell you if this occurrence with this particular energy cleared because of the awakening that I had with my father asking me that question that created an awareness in me to realize that I, at that moment, stopped everything to listen to what he had to say. So therefore, that means that I can control it in every kind of way. That was deep. That was deep. And my mom was still alive at this time. So remember, my mom passed away when I was 9. Okay. So this is already all going down. So there was a voice that I associated with. And it always, the most common place that this voice would come was when I would be taking a shower or like taking a bath. And I would dread this voice because it was always telling me to kill myself. Okay, if trigger warning. If this is a sensitive topic, if you're not yet there to be open to my storyline adventure of spiritual evolution that is as true as can be, I'm sharing for our revolutionary development. So this mofo I used to fight with. So one of my early cognitive recognitions of this energy was that it was not mine. It was not. As much as it was coming from within me, I was aware that the sound, see, there's external, otherworldly, like the music. And then there's internal, otherworldly, multidimensional, dimensional frequency, energy, vibrations that we could be in the same room together and one person could be tapped into all those different energies, frequency, vibrations, and the next person will not even hear a damn thing. And then there's the physical where everybody heard that. There's different layerings to these kind of things and stuff like that. So already from that young age, I was aware, and 2, I had strong prophetic, very intense dreams. That so early on I was already having intense dreams, having these fevers, these channelings and these voices and this awareness, this intuition. Like it wasn't just voices, oh she's crazy and all this kind. No, everything was factual, everything was clear. Like you're saying stuff that you what? You a spy? Right? So and I would in the shower with my hands to my, I'm like, shut up, shut up, shut up. Like that. Shut up, no, shut up. And I also would listen to it to try to understand what it sounded like. It was like a metallic kind of monotone kind of sound, like male, like I would identify that sound like a male voice, kind of, not. And so what I began to understand from then, or try that I would be, because you see from different octaves of truths and expansion. So now with your timeline, your akashic, your field of energy, your cellular memory, your DNA, all these things that you are connected to, whether you recognize them or not, and all the passages of space and time that travel from every single space, dimension, and time that is ethereal, right? All these happenings. Right here, there's another dimension. Right here, there's another frequency. Right here, there's another sound. Right here, there's another thing. Right here. And yet, it's all intermingling. And there are people there are people who can tap in. Their levelings of interpretation is going to differ. That's what makes us all unique. We all have our different flavoring. So early on, I understood this through that voice and also the devil in my dreams, always trying to recruit. And whatever the case may be, right? Early on, crazies. But you're not crazy. You are not crazy. You just have yet to learn your sound, learn your antenna, learn your channeling. And it's possible, especially with overload. Especially with overload. Overload don't have to be overload. And it would still always be the same size of file. Right? So in this development of having these battles, these spiritual warfares going on in, out, you have to also understand the energy, frequency, vibration of what all of life is all about, like, and how certain kind of things can stay trapped and whatever. So the whole point of this is being mindful of the frequency we're choosing to visit. As a channeler, channeling, because you're tapped in, turned on, tuned in, you can pick up all frequencies that are not anything to do with your energy, frequency, vibration. But most of the human population that can be met with that voice that will eat you or break you down is a frequency stuck in its dimension or living in its dimension. It's just a frequency. And so I love doing what I'm doing because it's helping those that are going to tap in, turn on, tune in with me, that understand what I'm talking about. It's gonna fly over many people's head. I'm like, maybe you should be a doctor. Maybe you should hop off or allow the seed to implant because you're here. The seed has been implanted. I got nothing to say with it. But this is deep when you need to understand energy, frequency, vibration. You can speak all the positivity you want, but if your energy is meeting and matching a different frequency, it don't matter what you say. It's going to be convoluted in every kind of way. That's why we must tend to the energy. This is why we share our stories. Had I ever thought that was me, I couldn't see. I didn't understand. I was a child. I'm like, what is this attacking me while I shower? No, shut up. Stop it. Maybe that's you. Tapping into certain frequencies that feed another type of beast. And it doesn't have to be so graphic. It doesn't have to be so cool, but that's just an example. But we got depression too. Frequency. What frequency are you frequenting that needs to be observed by you so that you can identify and rise to your own energy exchange. What frequency are you frequenting? If you're not a channeler, a conduit, a messenger that channels through these different energy, frequency, vibrations, and you're the conduit, there's many people, I'm a healer, I'm this, I'm that. You're a conduit for those frequencies and energies. You are just a shell of your own existence. I am a conduit for many different energies, frequencies, and vibrations along with my own. And as a channel for the divinity of articulation, with our communication, for our liberation, it is an honor to rise to my own occasion of Akashic that sits here before you, speaking as I do. Your depression is a frequency. Check the energy with your energy. What are you frequenting? Unless you're just a robot here to take up space for those that are awakened. And so you're just everybody's toy. Oh boy. Do you want to be a toy? Do you want to be other people's toy? When you're not conscious, when you're not present, you just become a circuit that goes circuiting every other circuit without conscious or thought to that which you circuit. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Right? Yeah, no. What? No. A message from Shredder. The Secret of the Ooze, a message from Shredder. Right? Because we're shredding things. We're shredding the illusion, the distorted illusion. I share with you my story, not for you to judge me or for you to be like whatever. It's for those that connect. It's not going to be for everybody, put it in. We are shredding down what does not serve our evolution. Right, so you're meeting with the monsters that might have you hostage or feeling stuck. That could be life, that could be experience, that could be condition, that could be your job, that could be your spouse, that could be your relatives, that could be the people energy around you that you surround yourself, that you feel a little bit like out of sorts with, right? But there's a message from that because you're shredding, you're like the snake shredding your own skin in honorary ways, right? As you search for your truth, as you search on your mission, right? No one believes Elliot's story about the baseball that flew back at him from the tool shed. People may not even believe you. They'll be like, oh, you're just ridiculous. Oh, you're just this and this and that. Let people believe whatever it is that they want to believe. That's their state of evolution. Don't be insulted by it. It's not personal. It's there to strengthen your reservoir of truth that is for yourself. Another person's attack against you is to help you to solidify in your own empowerment, your power to yourself. Knowing your truth. Thank you for the opposition because you helped me solidify who the fuck I am. Right? No one believes Elliot's story about the baseball that flew back at him from the tool shed. Later that evening, a loud noise from the backyard jolts him awake. He grabs a flashlight and runs out to investigate. You're investigating. You're investigating your truths. And that's good. That's excellent. So it was the same thing like with the story, right? masters of darkness. So there's certain kind of programming and conditioning, how they got there and how the frequency exists. All right, that's left for us to explore the darkness, the vastness of life and all that it is. Your job is to search within your being, finding your light in that dark. The more that we keep on looking at darkness as something that's outside of us, we forget that we are all, each one, reach one, teach one, we are all one. The same amount of darkness that is out there exists within our own being too. And darkness, we have it associated and we have it conditioned into our programming to look at it as something that's evil, dark, and bad, something to be fearful of. The darkness is greatness. It's a blank canvas for you to explore and find and paint for yourself. As a master alchemist of your own being, who runs your vessel and who is the person perceiving, receiving, ingesting, tasting, living, speaking, thinking? Recognize the frequencies that intermingle with your frequenting. See it for what it is. Understand that where you frequent, you will be met with influence of that frequency. So if you want to change your environment, shift and all this kind of stuff, watch all my videos. 1, 2, identify where you frequent. See, when I started mastering where I frequent, it changed the reality of that visit by that voice. I remember when I started exiting, when I started no longer hearing that voice, I would look for it to make sure that it was gone. I would think of it. I would think of it. I wanted to see if he would come back. And I would say, I know what you sound like. So if you're here, let me hear you. Sometimes that which we believe to be away and dark and outside of us is the light. It's the light calling us in. Sometimes what you would call your enemy or your opponent or the opposition, maybe they're coming to you from a different multiverse of a universe of an existence that's teaching you the harsher lessons and harsher ways for the greater good of all in every kind of way. Don't be so quick to call someone an enemy. You might very well just be your friend. Till we meet again, thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in. I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions in regards to anything that I share, your commentary goes a long way. It allows me to see where you are. It allows me to tap in, and it allows me to turn on and further dive deep into these energies that are complex, as you can see. I want to talk more about these things because it's fucking time. And I want to help you navigate the abundance of your mind. You are a dynamic quantum being in every kind of way. There was a lot of programming and conditioning that has been placed. So let's start identifying the places we frequent so we can understand best our frequency engagements and watch everything fucking shift better. Because once you start identifying where you frequent most, then you need to get into the identity of what you want the most. And how can you get there? What can you do to frequent the vibration, energy, frequency that you do wish to create and have and manifest and live with for yourself? It's going to require effort, dedication, willpower from you to make the time to do that which you must in order to get that which you want. Power, affirmation, activation. I have everything I need and I get everything I want. So mote it be. So more it be. C'est la vie. Align.